part 4, episode 13 of Welcome to the Eroistic-Ke. In this episode, we see that Sato is kind of a loser and went with the flow that he would die because his life have nothing anymore, and like he just sucked up to senpai, and he would die because of the fact that for his senpai, and he think that his life have nothing anyway, and gonna jump off the cliff and died because of the fact that he just went with the flows. That how loser Sato is. And so Jigasagi and Mizagi and stuff, and Yamazaki finding places where Sato is, because the threes investigate where Sato is. Mizagi following because of the fact that she didn't want Sato to die, the only one that she looked down on to die, and Mizagi just want to finishes the games. Truly no one cares for Sato, and Jigasagi doesn't seem to care, and they both just build the campfire because of the fact that they are just kinda lazy, I guess. Kind of wanted to cut out the way to escape with the fuel, and the fact that Sato just wanted to only sheer senpai go on to he just gave up because of the circumstances and went with the flow to die. And if you think about it, Yamazaki said that Sato is half nothing. Sato got hurt by the fact that Mizaki just observed the actions of Sato from the apartment. And if you think about it, Sato is college dropout, no job, no guts, everything else. But Sato himself is surprisingly thinking different thing. It's we humans just sometimes think the different thing, not the thing, like even if the circumstances is bad enough that we just, if we suicide, it's not the weird thing. But Sato, who's you could say that life is just kind of bad enough for him, but he just but somehow he just feel refreshed like me, and this guy is just a person that by this point everyone just give up and talking about life, and people who seems to have no second thoughts at last is having the second thoughts. And Jigasagi and Yamazaki just thinking to the rates of the Mizaki, who is just to start everything. She makes Sato making games. She and Yamazaki just know that Sato, who's gone making a thoughtless agreement and and promise and stuff, and Yamazaki just realized that she just making giving empty promises, empty agreement, empty kindness to Sato to make him agree to make game, to make him go to the counseling and stuff, which is not actually helpful, but actually make him but actually make him, being with Mizagi more and more because of the fact that, and it's like Mizagi giving a food to a stray dog, as the Mizagi say, that if she doing this more and more, it's like Sado will be addicted to Mizagi and can't live without her. And the Mizagi realized that. And so the Mizagi realized that, but he couldn't do anything because it's not, the least about him. Like, he's just helping Sado making games, and Mizagi just, have no other method, because she is pessimism. She doesn't know what normal for a normal person is. Not that is normal in this world. And we have different standards of normal, and we have different type of normal, and so normal didn't exist. But in terms of real basics morality, like, you couldn't say that, like, making hurt people is bad, is good, or something, or uh destroying stuff for no reason is bad, or something. That this to be the most basics morality, the most basic rules, no, not rules, but the most basic common senses, that doing something would not be better, would not be good if you use your brain a little bit. So, like, but Mizagi, it's kind of hard for Mizagi to know the common senses because of her family issue, and she doesn't have any friends, so she doesn't go to social either. And it is this senses of common senses, the senses of the most people see as normal, doesn't exist within Mizagi, so she doesn't know the other way. So and so she only knew how to, encourage people with Sado, with her selfish wishes. And Sado and stuff is just, God going to die, and people just say his, really, these people who is group of dying, just saying the really negative stuff about their life, which these people are only met one inside a lifetime. And it's really giving the senses of that these people are real people, because of the fact that they have, like, being from the different age, different households, but somehow the dialogues, the emotional expression of these characters, really showing what the origin they are from, and really shows how their thought process are. Plus, with the dialogue, even if this in this case trying to show that these people are people that Sado met, maybe not met again after this, but these people are the people that are real, that is, having a tough life like him. And we may just met this once in a lifetime, but we still care for each other. That the message that Eroistic-Ke trying to say, that the world is real. The world is not this, people, the pathetic other than Sado in the world, and the world is just not centering around Sado in the Eroistic-Ke alone. And so there is other people too, and, like, they're just trying to color each other. And because she wasn't by just only blame the conspiracy and stuff, because if she blame herself, she would just like, she can't accept that, to blame herself, to grow, to accept herself, to be upgraded, from to be the best version of herself. She can't. So she blamed the conspiracy, even before the moment that she would die. She blamed Jigazagi for not having time. She blamed, like, she dragged everyone around him down. It feels like a hero speech, but it's a pathetic hero speech. And Jigazagi and stuff, just, and his gang, just Nibazaki and Mizaki, just go on, go on without race that they would find Sado and Shiro, because of the fact that they are the people that and because Jigazagi, just when the trouble comes, Jigazagi is just trying to fix it, but not really on that. If the trouble not come, Jigazagi would not just observe anyone and just like ignore and doing his work and stuff. And this is where Jigazagi fails to realize that that the work isn't everything, and his life is just too straightforward. I mean, so Mizaki is just, because Sado pathetic, Mizaki see well in him. So this is where we see the deep thought process of Misaki. She is the one that she can't think of any reason to encourage Sado when he is gonna fall down, and like, she's the myth pathetic. And Sado needs, with the circumstances, Sado gonna fall down, gonna jump to the cliff with his company. And Kashiwa Senpai, I kinda know that she is a person that that I would say she is a bitch that sucked up to boys, sucked up to everyone around her, and trying to get the mace and being manipulative and stuff. And Sato realized that, but he can't reject her because he is lonely. He does not have anyone else in his life, and he okay with got sucked up, got Kashiwa Senpai sucked up to him, and so she just, for a reason that view sucked up with Sato. But she does not think about Sato the least. She just wants Sato to cuddle her and stuff. And after this, she was just sucked up to Jusagi again if she come. So these people will just fall down. And this guy who seems to be the people that trying to suicide, being so focused, the mace on trying to suicide, but they can't. Like, so Sato here is the one that having the thought of suicide, being the most determined person in all of these, and like, cause she was just sucked up to he was by just sucked up to Chikazagi and having the second thought from that we see in the plane scenes. And this guy who is running Phoenix just have the second thought because it's just a job that he got expelled at. Like, he could be doing all the job, and he doesn't want his mom to cry, and this guy is just too caught up in the thought process, and the kids, and like, so you can start over if you know your life could still be fixed. You could start over, you could fix your life. This is the philosophy that I love the most about in this case. Even if Sato failed, through the whole show, there's no events that good for Sato. For one event, Sato got suicide, got Mizagi comes, and he fall down to being Kikikori again. He got, like, his life is kind of fucked up in some way. He, got caught up in the online game, and being lolly and stuff. Got caught up in the lolly, and he got sucked up being creator that does not being successful so much, and basically over the shows he failed, and he failed again. But even then, he could still start over and over again. He failed, he start over, and even if it's not success his whole life until he died, it's still fine, because he is the one. He is being the one in the society. He participate in the society. He is being one of the civilization, and I think that it is kind of beautiful that. But for me, I just think that I don't want to be the part of the social. I don't want to be the part of anything. I just want to live and die alone. And even if I rich, I am successful. That's no different from I'm not successful, because I'm still exist. I'm still breathing. Like, it's not like I would have, I can breathe x2 times, multiple 2 times when I'm successful. Like, I'm still living and shit. Or maybe like I would have full lengths if I'm scientist, but it's just, you just still exist. If you're successful, like, why would you have more money to do anything else? Because even if you're happy, you just still exist. Even if you're depressed, you still exist. And so my point is, even if you're not happy, like, even if you're depressed, you still exist as everyone else who is happy. And it does not, even if you're happy, it's just not really having, it's just still the same, like, you just exist, and there's just no value in them, and like, just live and stuff. And if you're not judging that, who say being happy is good? Like, being happy could be like killing people, and being happy, and it could be bad. And like, my point is, being happy doesn't mean it's really good life. It could mean that you deceive yourself to be happy, and you hurt other. And I am okay with being depressed and not hurting anyone. And Sato is gonna jump having these second thoughts with everyone, and every problem will solve if you have this. If you not get too caught up to the thought process, you could have the second chance. You could start over. But and he told me who's gonna jump, because she got cold shoulder at but at last Chikazaki helping him, and and it and the problem resolved, and she sucked up to Jukzaki and married her and stuff, and Sato gotten is the most pathetic one. Misaki condemned him because she doesn't know better, and Yamazaki just hits with the most realistic line, with the most realistic thought, the most realistic reason that like we don't fit. Like Hikikomori doesn't even have the courage to die, to suicide. Like we're idiotics, we're just stupid. We will die someday on the road. And it just hits Sato so deeply because of the fact that she really doesn't have the courage to, like Hikikomori, we are lower than the people who have the courage to die, lower the normal people who have depression and wanted to do suicide. We are lower than them because we can't even do that. We can't even have the courage to, for confront with our feeling. And so we didn't. And so Sato hits with that thought, and he hits with that thought. It's so true that he just gave up and suicide. And this is the moment that hits the maze. Sato falls down again. That he see that he is words that can suicide, and at that moment he falls down and loses life when he doesn't want it to, and it hits him, and he cried. And he cried so hard, and this moment just left me quiet for a long time. And so episode 13, Paradise, finish episode 13.